The Chicago Fed introducing new labor market indicators this morning that combine private sector data with official labor statistics for a real-time view of hiring, layoffs, and other job information. And join us now, Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee. How you doing, Mr. President? It's good to have you on.
We got some new data. I'm excited.
And you know why I like it? Because, say what you will about, the big kerfuffle with the BLS firing and all that stuff. It did highlight that in recent years, it's been hard to collect the data. People just, maybe after the pandemic or whatever, and anything that gives us more data and gives the Fed more to work with to make decisions is a good thing. What do you got?
Look, I totally agree with that. I'm a proud member of the Data Dogs there on the FOMC, and one of the first rules of Data Dogs is sniff everything that hits the floor, and so what the Chicago Fed has done is go get 11 different data sources, private sector, public sector, state level information, and national level information to make these three labor market statistics that we can measure. One is a real-time estimate of what will be the unemployment rate when it comes out eventually. One is the layoff and other separations rate for workers. And one is what's the hiring rate, again in real time, for unemployed workers. And it'll just give you a sense of where we are in the job market. And the statistics that are coming out now show a lot of stability, that we have a kind of a low hiring, low layoff and separations job market, which is unusual, but it looks pretty different than if you were just looking at payroll employment, where you've seen big swings in the aggregate numbers.
I had deja vu, Austin, because you have mentioned some other really good dog analogy about, like, when you're going on a walk, it takes a while because they're sniffing each other. What was
this is a reference, I think.
That's the other
but what was your
There's a
last
time for walking, and there's a time for sniffing, and we need to know the difference.
You've used that before, and this one you said was anything that hits the floor,
Sniff everything.
You're like Dan Rather or something. You're slicker than snot on a doorknob. Because he came up with all these really Texas, I got you. Austin, let me ask you. Maybe you got another dog thing to say. Did you guys move the target, the inflation target? Did you move the goalpost to 3%? Because you're cutting at 3%. People would criticize that.
You know the rules. I'm not allowed to speak for anybody else. But for me, heck no. We did not move the target. The target is 2%. We have to get inflation back to 2%, period. We must get milder inflation numbers looking forward. It's not a monthly 2%. It's over the long run, what's the through line? But anybody saying that we're raising the inflation target, I think that's dangerous talk.
Okay, because I think I might have. I was just asking a question. I wasn't saying you're doing. Are we still? Can you tell me that we're still in restrictive mode, or do we need to wait and see?
If we're still in restrictive mode, or we need to wait and see. I think a little of both. I think we are restrictive, mildly restrictive. It's worth noting, if you hold the rate at some level and inflation creeps up, you're passive cutting. So I don't see that the real rate is as restrictive as it was before we started getting this inflation. But I still think in the period before April 2nd, before we started getting some of these shocks, I thought we were on the rate down. As inflation comes down to 2%, we could still go down a fair amount with the rate. What's neutral, I think, is below where we are now by 100, 125 basis points, something like that.
Were you asking him about another dog thing, or what? I thought you wanted to ask him something.
No. It was dog.
It was a dog, because I like, I got 3 of them, and one of them is, 3 months old. It's a nightmare German Shepherd. But, and actually, when Glenn said that about a teenager every day growing, the dog, I just wish it's housebroken. I don't know what. I keep trying to show him. Austin.
Here's how you do it.
Yeah, he doesn't have thumbs, though. You know he can't flush.
Joe's neighbors are upset when he goes out to try to demonstrate for the dog.
It's like,
yeah, there's a visual.
That's a visual that you can't.
Thank you, Austin.
Did you ever think you might say, I wish we did 50? Was there any thought in your mind that you could have been one of them?
Not right now. No, I'm still. I'm okay with moving to be in a better spot, and I think eventually, at a gradual pace, rates can come down a fair amount if we can get this stagflationary dust out of the air. But with inflation having been over the target for 4.5 years in a row and rising, I think we need to be a little careful with getting overly upfront aggressive.
Hey, Austin, that kind of brings to mind a question I've been kicking around since yesterday when Stephen Myron spoke at the New York Economic Club, or the Economic Club in New York. He said that he would dissent in the future, too, just like he did this time. That tells me that he kind of read the room and his opinion is nowhere near where the rest of the voters are. Is that a safe assumption?
Well, again, I'm not allowed to opine about what other people on the committee think or what the committee thinks as a whole. For me, I think the neutral rate of interest is somewhere below where we are right now. And if we're on path to get inflation back down to where it's supposed to be and where we promise we're going to bring it, I think rates can come down some. If you look at the dot plot where everybody gives an opinion of where do they think rates are going to settle, there's a big mass of almost everyone on the committee saying that rates can go down something, as I say, that ultimately the rate might settle around 3% with inflation at 2%. And I'm comfortable with that as a marker.